responsible pet owner pays attention to what the animal's needs are and fulfills them as best as possible. And that doesn't necessarily always mean here at the vet clinic. You know, animals get sick to varying degrees. Some are much more seriously ill than others. But a responsible pet owner is, you know, paying attention to what their animal's needs are. I think a responsible pet owner should be somewhat educated in the sense that they should know what the basic care is for their animal and what basic things can go wrong that can be identified by them as pet owners. One of the things that a pet owner should know from the start are the basic needs of an animal. Vaccinations, you know, diseases that they can get, how they can be contracted. And most places, veterinary clinics, rescue facilities, humane society shelters, etc., that are, you know, giving animals out to the public normally provide them with that basic bit of information.
I go out to the school starting in kindergarten on up through college and go to the classes and teach classes like responsible pet care. How do you take care of that dog or cat? We're not born knowing these things, so we're going to learn them, and I have great classes on that, loads of fun. Classes on how to train dogs and cats without any pain, no yelling, no hitting. Classes on animal bite safety.
And I just think a responsible pet owner in general doesn't necessarily have to be wealthy and, you know, be able to provide extravagant care for their animal. I think that just really putting the animal's best interest at heart and focusing on what the needs are for that animal make them responsible. When you're adopting an animal from a shelter, one of their main goals is to stop reproduction. So typically those animals are adopted out for a nominal fee. They're already spayed and neutered. They've already been tested for the big things that could be wrong with them: feline leukemia, feline AIDS, heartworm. They've been dewormed. They've been vaccinated. And I guess in a sense, in my view, stopping the reproduction there is where it begins. When you adopt an animal from the shelter, you're not getting something that has the ability to reproduce, and then all of those animals can reproduce, and that's where you get your, you know, exponential replication.
At the Humane Society, you're saving a life, so to speak. You know, you go to a pet store, the chances of those dogs or cats or whatever is in there being purchased are a lot higher. You know, if they're at the pound, they're there because either someone didn't want them or someone couldn't handle them anymore, and they just dropped them off. And I think we all know what happens at the pound if they're not, you know, taken by somebody.
In my eyes, adopting an animal from a shelter is a better choice for several reasons. By adopting an animal from a shelter, you're taking an animal that probably doesn't have much of a chance for a long period of time. The shelters are so full, they have to keep rotating the amounts of animals that can go into an adoption facility. They stay there for so long, and then they have to go out with those and in with new. And every time an animal's adopted, you're allowing an open space for another animal that's stray and unwanted to come in and be adopted, or at least viewed for adoption. So personally, I feel like adopting the good old Heinz 57 from the pound, or an unwanted animal in general, is a better choice. And I say that only because thousands of animals every day are euthanized in shelters across the nation.
We take in other animals. Believe it or not, sometimes we get livestock out here. We get horses. We've gotten horses before. Burros. We've gotten burros. A couple of months ago, we had this fabulous goat. He was an adult. He was house trained, and he was a lap goat. So every time we sat down, he sat in our lap. He was fabulous. And about the same time period, a couple of months ago, there were two little pigs that came in. We had them both in the puppy adoption room, and they were just adorable. So you just never know who's coming in. And believe it or not, we even get hamsters, gerbils, birds, sometimes parrots. We've gotten in parrots before, macaws, cockatiels, cockatoos. You just don't know. Snakes sometimes, iguanas, just whoever needs help.
But like Clinton, when he was out there at the Humane Society, he let us know that he was a friendly cat. And he didn't just take to me, he took to Sandy just as quick. And that's why we took him. We chose him. And there wasn't no doubt that I was going to look for one that was nicer, because there ain't no nicer one. He's as nice as she come.
What we kind of look for is the commitment, whether they're up for the commitment for life. These animals need a lifetime home, maybe, and they may live 15 or 20 years. That's a good long time.
I would just advocate, if you're in the market for a dog, and or a cat or whatever it may be, and I personally would say go to the Humane Society, save a life and improve your life at the same time.
I'd like to just go back to the whole thousands and thousands of animals that are in today's shelter through human irresponsibility, and why I think it is so important for a person to really think about all of the time, the effort, and the money that goes into caring for an animal, and really take all of that into deep consideration before they go and take on the responsibility of an animal. An animal typically doesn't live for a year or two and then it's gone. I mean, when you adopt an animal, especially a younger animal, you're looking at anywhere from 15 to 20 years of a commitment of caring for that creature. Animals can care for themselves up to a certain extent. After that, it's up to us.
One of the things we always encourage people to call us up if they have any problems. For example, I can't house train my puppy, something like that. Please, we encourage them. We call them up to see if they have any problems. Anybody that, even if they didn't get them from here, call us up. If you're having a problem, we'll try to talk you through it. We'll try to help you out, try to solve that problem. We want them to stay in the home really badly.
I feel that every animal, regardless of where it came from, in whatever environment it is, deserves the right to have good care, to be well cared for, in a sense that the environmental setting should be proper for the animal, depending on the type that it is. It should be properly fed every day. It should be in a non-stressful environment, an environment that's comfortable for the animal, based on whatever breed or type of animal, not necessarily always a cat or a dog. It could be a reptile or whatever, a bird. They all have different requirements, and I think that an animal should have the right, if we're going to keep them in our homes, to have their environment as suited to them. I think they should be as well cared for as possible.